Welcome, Smutters, to another episode of Sibs Read Smut Podcast. I'm Ned.
I'm Helen.
This is a podcast where we read, rate, review, and tell jokes, all while discussing your, but mainly our, favorite dirty romance books. If you have suggestions and or questions, reach out to us on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, at Sibs Read Smut, or on email at sibsreadsmut@gmail.com. There's a lot of ats in that sentence. I'm just realizing that after 23 episodes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What episode is this, Ned?
23. On today's podcast, we will be discussing Scandalized by Ivy Owens.
Ivy Owens. Which is the pen name for?
Pen 15. Penis. which is a pen name for one of the authors in Christina Lauren dual writing duo. Spoiler alert, we will be talking about these books in full, beginnings, endings, and twists, all fair game. If you haven't read the book yet, hit pause, maybe go read it, maybe just listen to the episode, see if you want to read it. We both enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I want you to go read it. Book club. Hey, girlies. Read this one.
Girlies.
Hey, girlies. Hey, club. If you're at the club with the girlies,
Jesus.
go read this one. Ned, next time you're in town, you're coming to book club. Everyone's going to love you.
I'm a goddamn delight. Of course they will. Now, Helen wrote us a brief summary of Scandalized by Ivy Owens. You hit it.
I wrote this under duress. Scandalized by Ivy Owens. Should I read it in a British accent?
No. I forgot there was a British person in this book, actually.
I think that the people would enjoy. Okay.
Do it.
Georgia. I can't even do it. Okay, I'm not doing it. I'm going to read it in an American accent. Georgia is a journalist with a big story, and it's not Alex Penis, ... Or is it? Alex is a super famous acting heartthrob, but that's not the only thing throbbing. Cue Georgia's lady bits. A steamy one night turns into 2 weeks of humping, while Georgia attempts to unravel a case that hits Alec close to home. Oh, and they bone ... A lot. That's
Perfect.
it. That's it. That's my American accent.
That's the entire story in a nutshell.
That is in a nut. That is the whole story.
Lean a little closer to your computer, Helen. You're getting very close to the screen.
I have to read this.
Those beautiful words.
Those beautiful words that I wrote for myself, of course.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, cover watch as the super fans are.
Tell us. They want to
know. It's a little cartoony, little whimsical. I thought it was pretty good.
I liked it.
It has fireworks. They're kissing romantically on the front. I thought it was pretty great.
She's got her little legs up. There's fireworks in the background. It's lovely. I think it's a lovely cover. It's purple and blue. It's some of my favorite colors. I
Perp ain't got no herp.
What?
Perp ain't got no herp, as in purple.
Yeah, I'm following. I'm just not falling in line. Maybe I don't. Yeah, perp ain't got no herp.
That was I think that was from sports when we were kids. Just if we had to wear the purple pennies or something at a game, it was like, oh yeah, perp ain't got no herp. Oh man,
what color is herpes? This is
sad.
now a science podcast. Herpes is actually purple. I have no idea.
Oof.
All right, Ned, quit getting us off topic.
Off topic in the first 3 minutes of the podcast.
God,
bring
it back. Dare
Well,
you?
this is another single perspective book, which we've been having a fair bit of this first season of ours. Well, I can't remember how many it's been, but it's been quite a few in the last, especially in the last 5 or 6 books. I feel like more often than not they were single perspective.
Not your
Which
favorite.
not my favorite. I do like seeing the dual perspectives, but this. I didn't mind this one. I thought this one did a pretty good job. I think it was well done, and it wasn't her perspective never got too angsty. And you weren't in her head a whole lot. There was enough of a story to keep it moving without her wallowing, and it was very Bodyguard-esque in that way, where there's enough good story to keep it moving, where you're not always focused on her and what she's feeling and everything else, which we kind of just dove right in there. Our main characters are Georgia or Gigi. She's a journo. She's a journalist with a big story.
She is. She's breaking open a story for the LA Times.
And Alexander Kim is the love interest, and he
is it Alex or Alec?
I thought it was Alexander Kim. So people call him Alexander, but I thought his name was Alec, Alec.
Okay. Just checking.
And he is super famous, and she's a super famous K-pop star and actor now, and she's pretty horny for him right off the bat.
No.
Yes.
She doesn't know who he is.
She does in the line when they have a very bad airport experience, and they get to the hotel, and she immediately recognizes him from childhood, but she doesn't know that he is super famous, but she does know who he is. He's the older brother that she had a huge crush on when she was a kid, so she's horny for him.
She is horny for him, but not because he's a K-pop star.
I didn't say that.
You insinuated. That is how I understood what you said. She knew him growing up. He was the older brother of her friend, and she had this big crush on him, but she did not realize that he is a K-pop star. So they have they get stranded in Seattle or something super late at night. They're flying from London back to LA, but they get stuck in Seattle. So they have to spend a night in a hotel. They have there's one hotel room left in this hotel, and his people, because he's famous, already booked it for him. She can't get a hotel that's not 3 hours away. So oh my goodness, what has to happen? He does they recognize each other as the friend from the friend and brother, and so they start talking. He offers his room to her to shower, and
even though she looks like a rundown bridge troll, which I highlighted because that was a great line.
Yes, she was looking a little rough, but so they recognize each other. They talk. He's like, "Please just use my room to clean up and get what you need to get," and then she does, and then he eventually somehow offers her to spend the night. So then I think they end up having a meal together in the restaurant at this hotel in Seattle.
I think it was just drinks, but she went down because she didn't have any clean clothes, so she wasn't wearing any underwear, which she really chewed the walls.
Believe
with that
it or not.
So scandalized.
So scandalous.
Well, and after shaking hands, she's like, "I'm still feeling the handshake sex." That's how horny she is for him. Right away, as soon as she recognizes who he is, she's like, "Our handshake was like sex." It was.
Listen, they have drinks, they flirt, and then they go upstairs, and I am making a point with my hand. They have drinks, they flirt, and then they fuck, and they go back upstairs. He's like, "Just spend the night in my room. Our flight's in 4 hours anyway." They just fuck all night. And so I love a good smut novel that starts and gets right to the point. I mean, hypothetical. And then of course you're like, "Oh, this is going to be one night only. I'll never see this person again." And obviously you're in the first 30 pages of the book. There's a whole book to read. What else is going to happen? They I don't know, decide to become archaeologists. No, they are boning, and it was good boning. I thought the smut was well done in this book.
Yeah. Agreed.
Would you say medium plus, or you have medium plus on our list. You don't think spicy?
Well, I mean, using your metric. There was no salmon swapping or anything else in there, but I
nothing
thought
will ever be. Maybe we need a spicy
know.
plus category for pucking around.
Yes, I think this book was pretty spicy. I mean, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were 8, pretty decent instances that went pretty deep, but it goes from innocent to like pretty dirty, which it was like, there's an accidental tit flash in the hotel room when she's showering.
Yes.
She's like, I don't know exactly how much boob he saw, but it was less than no boob, or
it was more than none.
It was more than no boob. Yeah. And she, like I said, she made a big deal about not wearing underwear, and she was like, and not for sexy reasons, because my note here says, and not for sexy reasons, but because all hers has skid marks from being worn for 2 weeks. But she, there's a lot of ogling going on, getting there, and her friend Eden, is like, oh my God, I love that show. Right? Yeah, her roommate and best friend loves the show that this guy, we come to find out, is actually acting in, but she does not know that. She just thinks he works on the show. Mm-hmm. And she's working on this big story about this sex scandal in this club over there, and lo and behold,
in London,
and Alec has ties to one of the owners and a familial connection to it. But asking, when they're in the bar talking, they're like asking to be scandalized, and there was some kind of scandal conversation coming up, like scandalize me, or can you be scandalized? And she's talking about how his hands are indecent, and she just wants to watch him like read a book, and watching him play the piano would be like watching porn. And then she pulls out the like no underwear comment, and he's like not even shocked. And it's like, I felt like that went on and was like kind of beating a dead horse a little too much. I was kind of like, okay, because they're gonna fuck, so it's like, get past the weird hand rubbing, and she's getting all horned up, and it's like, I actually wrote down the line,
Ned.
Ocean of sexual tension lapping at our toes. I'm not sure how I feel about this metaphor. I was like, but it is memorable.
It is. You wrote it down, made it into your book report.
Yeah, and so 15% in was the first sex scene that I cataloged.
Fireworks.
15%, and I said, give her the spicy bulgogi. And because he's Korean, and a slow build up with lots. What? I was being culturally sensitive.
Yes, thank you. You're being very inclusive. Good job.
Slow build up with lots of feeling, but it was pretty hot. Lots of nipple play and hand stuff in this first one.
Yes.
And then 18%, which arguably is technically a different session, but it's still, it goes one scene right into the other. I called
this is the morning sex.
Just the tip, just to show you I care, where he's like just putting the first little bit in.
Oh God!
and I said he wangs her slow but good. Most mind blowing sex ever, and lots of positions.
Okay.
So for those writing down, all the different ways you can do it, there's lots of examples in this scene.
I mean, technically, Christina, this is Lauren of Christina Lauren, but they wrote Beautiful Bastard, which is another book on our list that we read much earlier, and deemed it very spicy. So these ladies know their way around a wang. I mean, they are...
and a vagine.
They know their way around
and
a
spicy
good wang.
Taco.
Yeah. So I thought the spice was really well done. And yes, very, yeah. Well done,
Yeah,
ladies.
and she's freaking out later when she finds out that he's super famous, and she's explaining to Eden the whole situation, and she's freaking out because she loves Alec.
She knows
too.
who he is.
She knows who he is, and is a huge fan of his.
They finally get back to LA, and when they get off the plane, that's when Gigi sees like hordes of people waiting for him, and she's like, "Wait, what the hell? I thought he just worked on the show." And then she starts to figure out, and Eden also is like, "Yeah, he's super famous," and so she puts all the pieces together.
I liked much better the way this book did fame and
celebrity normal person.
Celebrity normie much more than Idea View, which was kind of very. It was isolated a little bit, I think. I mean, it's two different, completely different topics and completely different subjects in a way. But I thought that the overwhelming invasiveness of this was more. I don't know, was more well done than the Idea View in this one specific regard.
And well, because he is kind of a private person, so he doesn't like to have his public life out and about, but he has like a public girlfriend, right? Am I thinking like, or no, I might be thinking a different book. No, I'm thinking of a different book. He does not have a girlfriend, like even a fake one. But he
was close to one of his co-stars at one point, I think.
And people made a big deal out of it.
Yeah,
and
but it never comes up as a counterpoint storyline in this book.
But I think what was well done is he has an assistant who really does everything. One of my favorite things, back to your underwear point, is he like,
bought her underwear, right?
He's like, he takes out his phone and sends a text message, and then like, comes back to bed or whatever. And the next morning, this little like brown paper bag, he's like, "I got you a gift." And she's like, "Got me a gift? What do you mean?" And he opens it, and it's like a black lacy underwear or something. And she's like,
"It's like an underwear set or something." Yeah,
something like that. But it's like she was like, "You and I have been together since last night. Since I told you I wasn't wearing underwear. Like, how did you get this?" He's like, "I told my assistant." She was like, "So your assistant went out and bought me underwear and sent it here in a brown paper bag?" And he's like, "Yeah." He was like not weirded out at all.
What's weird about that?
Yeah. And she was like, "What?" So the assistant, I loved her role through the whole, like, she's like a very straight, like, she's not
stoic,
like very
British
stoic
woman
character, and like doesn't mess around, is very serious.
And she's very protective of him too.
Very.
But also very protective of him because she is in love with his sister, who we come to find out her childhood friend, who comes to have a lot larger role in the story much later on.
You called.
Yes. Yeah.
You texted me. You were like,
I texted you.
I bet the sister was a victim.
Yeah, I was like 25% in, and I'm like, I guarantee you his sister is a part of this larger story, which, you read enough of these things and you read enough content, you're going to be able to guess a lot of this stuff.
You guess all of your books. Like, I don't know if
true.
I am waiting for the book where you are surprised by the twist.
Where I'm stumped. Yeah.
You're stumped. I don't know if you've ever read one that stumped you.
And she is freaking out along with Eden because of his uber fame. And then she's pissed. And then she's super pissed at him, which I'm like, I get that too, because he was less than upfront about who he was. And he gets her over to the hotel to pseudo apologize by being a source for her story. And so he lied the night before and when saying he had no idea what she was talking about. And then the next day he comes clean and goes, "I actually knew one of the owners in high school or college. And I have a close family friend who may or may not have been, drugged there or whatever, assaulted there, and has this secret source." And I'm like, she doesn't know what to think. But 30% in, fond apology, hugging, fond apology. I don't know what the hell I was writing there. Fond apology,
Fondling.
hugging. Oh,
Fondling apology.
Fondling, apology, hugging leads to humping.
Yes.
And she's wet all over his masculine throat. She keeps talking about him drinking and looking at his throat. It's very weird. And I just wrote in my notes, "You get it, girl." You know, I don't know.
She went there and she got some.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I meant "you get it, girl," like talking to you, like "you get it, girl," or going like "you get it, girl." You know, I don't know which one I meant. There's more boob sucking as well, and lots of mouth
Do I
stuff.
get it? Like, are men's necks sexy?
Yeah.
Depends on the neck.
Not in our family.
Not in our family. They tend to be short and stumpy.
And
they're holding up a lot of weight.
And there's multiple. That's because we have big brains.
Many necks, and they are heavy.
He's got a heavy brain.
Working hard.
He's got a super wet brain.
We don't have the dainty, delicate necks of some K-pop stars.
Yeah.
But
Alec is George's kissing soulmate too, which I was like, barf.
I liked that because they
did you? Okay.
Well, I didn't like, I mean, not that phrase specifically, but I liked their chemistry sexually. That she talked a lot about, like, she's had sex with other people, but this was far and away they had the best chemistry out of anybody she's ever been with. And he he wasn't too worried about not being rough with her, but like, being
who he was in bed.
Yeah.
Who he wanted to be
a little bit more aggressive, in a hot way, not like a scary way. But I just feel like they had a lot of chemistry, and maybe they would have held back, like with other people. And I think she was getting out of a relationship,
a long-term relationship, 6 years with the guy. I forget what his name was.
Chad. A real dirtbag, and he lied to her extensively the last year of their relationship. Like, he said he was going to work every day.
He lost his job. He was gambling heavily. He lost all his money and some of her money, and then lied to her about it, and then tried to gaslight her that it wasn't that big of a deal. And it was,
and all of their friends took his side. He was leaving for work every day and going and sitting in a park and like reading a book.
Yeah.
So it was really shitty. So she does have a lot of issues about like being lied to. And so when Alec has a couple instances where he sort of bends the truth or isn't fully forthright with her, she gets pissed, as she should. Yeah. I appreciate that. 100%. She recognizes it as like, this was a traumatizing event in my life, and here's how I need to be treated moving forward.
Yeah, well, and they've now had a 2-night stand, or one night and one afternoon in the hotel, and and then he decides that he wants to take her on a date. They want to go to the beach, and there's some light petting in the car, and everything has been easy. She's spinning that everything has been too easy. And and neither of them do casual. So like, they're both a little hesitant about what this looks like going forward. And he thinks he's going to get attached, and they talk pretty openly about their feelings and how and where they see this relationship going. And I thought that their communication, much like in
a romance novel.
Well, much like Bad Girl Reputation, they were very upfront and honest about who they are, what they want, what they need. I thought it was very well done in that regard, honest with each other. And while they're floating in the ocean, that's when he reveals everything that he knows about the club. And he talks about, it was actually his sister that was assaulted, and he found her in one of the rooms. Club. Yeah, almost naked, and got her, situated in the bathroom, and then got her out a back door and got her taken home. But he gets her out of there, and he admits that he knows one of the owners and went to college, and the deeper relationship. He admitted some of this during their afternoon date, I think a day or two previous. Yeah. But he now admits the full, like, he knows the guy, he's hung out with him, he's part of their college crew, and that he knows him even better than he had already lied to about and then admitted to a little bit. And it was like he's trickle-truthing her, which is and she's got the goods on this club.
Yeah.
She knows that bad things have happened here. She has the proof. She's written an article. It's
Yep.
powerful. It's impactful. He does not know
Even
whether or not he
without
wants to be even
Yes.
without his testimony, but he doesn't know if he wants to be a part of it yet, and he's waiting for confirmation from his sister on whether or not she wants to go forward
She
with
wants
it.
her story to be in there, which is a big deal to the whole plot of the book, because, and I think I read to a review saying basically that Ivy Owens writes a journalist really well and really truthfully, that, you know, as Gigi's going through the story and she's working with her editors and she's putting together all of these pieces and getting these like late pieces of information from Alec, like how she calls her editors and puts things together, that it's actually a very good representation of being a journalist and putting all of these pieces together. And then making the decisions on, because the article's good to go as it is. It does not need Alec and his sister's story, but if it had that, it would have that sort of like real life, big famous name with it that would make even a bigger splash than it would regardless.
But it would also negate the entire low point of the book if she would have kept that in.
Well, I didn't know if we wanted to jump straight there. I'm sure you have like 30 pages of a book report before we get to the low point.
I do have a lot, but the other thing too is that Sunny, who is the childhood friend, the female, Alec's sister, dated Joseph, the guy who's accused of doing some of this bad stuff, and like they had dated and broken up, but they had dated for a little while, which makes the story a little murkier. But it's still but Sunny was absolutely drunk and possibly drugged at the club. Drugged. Well, we find that out later, but via the stuff that we had seen online, she was drunk prior to like even getting there, and then she was passed out on a couch. Yeah. And we find out later, absolutely drugged. But at the time, we weren't 100% sure, and neither was Alec for that matter, because Sunny blocked it out and didn't know, and she didn't remember. She
didn't remember because she was drugged.
Yes. And then the Joseph, duplicitous bitch, as I call him in this, calls Alec to find out what was going on while Sonny's in the hospital, and is like mining him for information. Oh, and at some point in this whole mix, I believe it was when Alec was introduced to Eden for the first time. They like go back to her place to hang out for the night, and Eden is like going gaga over him. He's like
over Alec.
They end up creating different names for each other because they don't want to. Yeah. So Alec is now Frank when talking with Eden, and Eden is now Lucy, so that Eden doesn't freak out the whole time that he's there playing drinking games. And she's talking about and he's talking about 13. Like, if I tell you an embarrassing story about me, would you feel more comfortable? And she's like, maybe. So she talks about when he was 13 and Gigi was 7, she walked in on him dancing to Eminem in his underwear, and then how scarring that must have been for her. And she's like, I didn't even remember that. And he was like, it was scarring for me. And then a high school talent show where he and his friends did a hip hop like routine on stage, and how embarrassing it was and everything else. I don't know, that those scenes came in very vividly for me, and I thought that was,
do you think it's because
nice
you
backstory
probably
and pretty funny?
Do you think it's because you performed hip hop routines with your friends often in high school?
I don't remember that. That never happened.
I don't know. I feel like I walked in on you performing. That's true. Pre-Instagram, I would have recorded it very quickly.
Yeah, pre-cell phones.
Yeah. I think I got my first cell phone when I was like a junior in high school. Like one of those Nokia bricks.
Yeah.
But you also loved Eminem.
I got mine in... Oh, absolutely. I still love Eminem.
Do you perform him in your underwear?
No, just fully nude.
I bleach my pubes to look like Eminem.
Yeah, I give my pubes a bowl cut like he used to have. Pope in a bleach blonde top hat. The all right, so that gets us pretty much to 48%. Day off doing it. They're at her place. They're getting super hot and heavy. No condo talk, which was weird. Not weird, but that's because they were just using them. Like in most of these books, it feels like they're having the conversation to like prove to each other that we don't need them. And in this case,
he's just wearing them.
He's just putting them on. It's not even a question. It's just bam, sheathing it.
A famous star. He can't just be knocking chicks up by accident. And he should be suspicious of chicks trying to have his baby because he's famous.
Yeah, K-pop royalty, and then there's some relieved begging, and it was pretty hot. His assistant. This is the first instance of like really hit her, we see her running his life, which was he goes, "Hey, will you come to my fan event tomorrow?"
Yeah,
and Eden's invited too. And they show up to this big cast signing and everything else, and Eden is like massive super fan,
very excited,
and they get to go backstage and meet the entire cast and crew and everything. And Gigi is feeling very fish out of water. This is like one of the big normie versus celebrity kind of like scenes in the whole book, and she's super wary of all these uber fangirls being super like, oh my god,
we love you, Alexander.
Yeah.
What were they doing?
Honk honk.
Do you want to do? Ned's honking his own breasts.
Yeah, I mean,
for the listeners,
I assume that's what fangirls do to super hot guys. Just honk their breasts at them aggressively. I mean, never having been a fangirl, I mean, I would assume that's what you did to, Justin Timberlake.
He is canceled. We don't.
We can't talk about him anymore.
He ruined several women's
frosted
lives.
Tips.
His frosted tips have taken down several women. No. Who would I have fangirled? I loved Leonardo DiCaprio when I was very little, signed up for many of his fan groups that was just sending like a $20 bill to.
You haven't been young enough for him in about 20 years.
What's his cutoff? 21 or 25?
I would say 18, but All
right, 18, then you're right. 20 years is about right. But trying to think who else my big crushes were. I don't know. I was a Justin Timberlake fan, like way back when, and Nick Carter, these little blonde-haired, blue-eyed biddies. Yeah, gosh. I don't know who I would have. So really
the aggressive boob honking.
I don't know who I would have honked my tits at. I'm trying to really think about
Sean
it.
Connery. He was in his 80s, probably.
My celebrity pass is Tom Hanks. And this makes Ben so uncomfortable. He's like, well, one, you have daddy issues. I'm like, you're not
He's literally
wrong.
Our dad's age.
I know, but I don't want to my pass. I just want to sit and hold hands with him and talk. I don't even want to bone him. If I had to bone anybody, it would probably be like Tim Riggins, whoever that actor is from Friday Night Lights. He's very handsome. But yeah, Tom Hanks would be my celebrity pass. And the worst part about all of this is Tom Hanks is like, mega star in the world. Everybody loves Tom Hanks. And Ben's, my husband's celebrity pass is the local meteorologist, Cheryl. Cheryl, what is her last name? No, but she lives in the neighborhood and walks her dog and is a very attainable person. She's not in my mind, she's not. She's like a mini celebrity. Like she's very popular
Local celebrity.
A local celebrity. However, she has. Listen, I wish that I could like bring Benjamin in here and have him tell you about Cheryl. Cheryl Hines? No, that's a different lady. Cheryl, the meteorologist. He knows everything. I called her a weather girl. He's like, she's not a weather girl. She's a meteorologist. She went to Brown, Helen. Benjamin knows everything about this woman and like knows her dog's name, knows
Was she in Playboy? Does she have a whole dossier?
No, but she has been on like the Today Show. Like she'll go and fill in every once in a while when their normal meteorologist, whoever is out of town, like she'll go and spend a day or two on the Today Show and do like national television. So she's very I mean, she's on her way up for sure. But Ben did not. We were watching like Tornado Watch one night and he was watching her. He's like, well, let's see what Cheryl has to say. You know, I trust Cheryl. So we turn on Cheryl and we're like watching her talk about this like huge storm headed for Chicago and we're all going to die. And then I was like, is she not wearing her engagement ring? I was like, sweetie, I think her engagement ring is off. And Ben like threw his dessert across the room. He's like, wait, what? And immediately goes down, like gets his phone out. He's like, oh my God, I need to find out what's going on. And lo and behold, she was single at the time. They had just broken up like a month prior. So Cheryl was then single. And so I'm like, great. Okay, now there's this like single cute girl meteorologist, excuse me, like lives in the neighborhood, has a cute dog, walks the dog around. Like the difference between my celebrity past being Tom Hanks and his celebrity past being like Cheryl, the local meteorologist, is just they never have quite matched up. But anyway, I know that you don't need a celebrity past because you are not in a relationship, but who would yours be?
Ooh, I love me some Anna Kendrick.
So you guys would like sing together, maybe
yes.
do some
downstairs singing, the
acapella, acapussy,
acapussy, the acapini, the oh yeah, I have watched Pitch Perfect an embarrassing amount of times. I do love that movie.
It's a good one. The first one.
I think Dad and I both love that movie.
My other favorite movie that Dad loves that you were like, wait, what? Is the ABBA movie with
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia. We went and saw that in the theaters. Me, Mom, and Dad. Dad was just like wrapped with attention. He like has a total man crush on Pierce Brosnan. He loved that movie. So funny.
Oh, so. I saw the stage play in London, and my roommate and I at the time, Craig, sat down, and I was reading the
pamphlet
performance bill, and I was like, what the fuck does this say? It says all the music by ABBA? And he goes, you didn't know that? And I go, no, this is going to suck. And people were like in a row are looking down like, one, this idiot came to a show not knowing that this was all ABBA music wall to wall. And two, then I disparaged the entire thing by going, this is going to suck. And half our class went to that performance and they loved it. And I walked in the next day going, this sucks.
How can you say that? ABBA is like gold. There's nothing wrong with ABBA.
Listening to that much ABBA music in one sitting, trying to shove it into a musical setting was not
it worked
ideal.
Perfectly.
Thank you, Dad. Well, anyway, Alec wants Gigi to move into nice transition.
Talking about a book. We're talking about a book. Oh, right. Scandalized.
Yeah. Alec wants Gigi to move into his suite for the remainder of his 2-week stay in Los Angeles. And Gigi knows it's a bad idea and knows it'll make leaving harder, but she says fuck it and decides to just go ahead and do it. Yael, the assistant, tells her at this event with all these fangirl women honking their boobs says not to get attached, and this sends Gigi spinning again about what is best for Alec and what is best for her. And that's the one thing where it didn't focus on it a lot, but she does a lot of spinning out in little mini bursts of oh my God, this isn't going to be good for me. This isn't going to be good for him. And then they move on to a different topic. They move on to a different scene. And it doesn't spend a whole lot of time with her harping over it, which I thought was much better than some of the other single perspective books that we've read, where they really just beat that dead horse over and over and over again and then move on to the next scene. This did a very good job at kind of cutting it off.
And I think too, there was a kind of early on in their talk, like how we said they had very honest conversations with each other. She said something to him along the lines of like, "You're not going to make me fall in love with you, are you?" And he replied, "I'm going to do my best to make you fall in love with me." And so I feel like he was pretty upfront with,
and he fell deeper faster than she did. I think she was very much trying to hold herself off, and not do
because
this.
She's a professional, and so knowing that she was about to break this story was going to break her career. Really, I mean, she's a young journalist, and this was her first really big story, and so also kind of coming off of the breakup.
Well, and that was a sticking point for her ex, too, was that she spent so much time working and was leaving him alone to gamble by himself. Whatever. But she's been very career focused this entire time, devoting a lot of time and energy to it.
Yeah. And especially to this story and the way that he's involved in this story and his sister, like, I think that just brings a little bit more hesitancy to her of like, I don't want to sleep with a source, essentially. And she is sleeping with a source. And she talks about that. She's like, it didn't used to be an issue. It used to be like, okay, I slept with a source, whatever. She had some like dividing line between when sleeping with a source was fine and when it's not fine. And when you could get fired for it. Which
she was not including his information was background for most of it until he got permission from Sonny to his sister to give her the full facts of the story and let her use it. Then he became an accredited source in the article, and then it became an issue. Then it was then it was a huge thing. And she ends up making the decision for both of them, which was the only point at which they had terrible communication during this whole book. But right before we get there,
tell us more about sex.
Yes, there's 63% in. There's phone poon play along, the sexening, where he literally calls her. He's in wall-to-wall meetings and everything else, so they're doing some phone sex.
Oh yeah,
where he can't respond to her because he's in meetings and in the car and whatever else. So she's describing what she's doing to herself in the bed while he's in the car.
She's honking her tits,
flicking the bean, rocking the man in the boat.
Oh my God.
It's pretty spicy.
Ew.
And he's in the car listening to her bait, just rocking it.
And like making his like talks, her business responses, like, I think this is going to work out really well for both of us.
I concur with the way this meeting's going.
Yes, of course.
And then he shows up mid boat rocking and finishes her off. And that was like, okay. And then quickly following that was 67 behind closed doors day off sex, which not described, but she's like, we spent the rest of the day just boning. And okay, good for you kids. They sneak out on his day off and get a bunch of video games and have Eden over, and they're just pretty much hanging around the place just boning and eating and having a good time and genuinely enjoying each other's company. And then Gigi gets the break in the case, which there's video from the club that identifies duplicitous bitch Joseph as the couch sexer. And Alec gives permission to use Sonny's story anonymously. So, the story is done and it's badass and it's ready to go.
Yeah.
But they need to get they need to get permission to use Sonny's name, and they're asking to use Sonny's name. So they go to this huge press event where her boss Billy, is
the ball. It's some gala.
is very close to her, and Alec gets very very jelly and takes her into a room and like needs to know and about what's going on, and they're like looking deep into each other's eyes and their reflections in this bathroom. It's very weird, and finally she's like, I need to get permission. You need to get permission. And he goes, okay, I'll talk to her. And then 76% is backseat half gibber, where they're in the car with the assistant and the driver, and she's just like rubbing his dick through his pants. And it was very, very
uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. Yes. That's the word for it. Not as uncomfortable as the thumbing on the couch with the kids sitting in front of them, watching movies. But
always come back to Mr. Masters.
Mr. Masters, but it was uncomfortable, and
didn't make you want to call DCFS. But.
Yeah, that led right into the hotel banging. They forgot condos. He edges her all night. That's all again pretty hot. I would agree with you of giving this the spicy label and pucking around to a spicy plus.
Around into its own category.
Yeah, into a spicy plus category.
Now we know. All right, good.
So we can do that with the the smutometer. We can concur on that change at the end of the episode.
We're in control.
The and then after all this sexing and edging forever, Gigi decides to take Sonny's part of the story out of her article. Just not talking to anybody about it. Doesn't talk to her editor about it. Doesn't talk to anyone. She has not told her editor.
She does talk to the editor. She calls him and says, "Take it out and publish."
No, but I'm saying she did not talk to the editor about sleeping with Alec, and that's the reason why she's taking it out of the story.
To protect him, in her mind.
Protect Alec, not Billy.
Yes, not the editor. No,
not the editor. And therein lies Billy's problem with this whole thing after the fact, which is, I could have talked you through this. I could have talked to you about this if you had been truthful with me, and you didn't talk to me. And then Alec is furious that she took it out, because it very quickly comes out that Alec is friends with Joseph, and he is now on camera taking someone out of the back of the club. And now he is embroiled in this whole cancel culture meme thing.
He's being accused of being one of the assaulters, one of the abusers.
And because she did not include his part of the story in the article, there is no context for him getting his sister out of there. Yeah. And to Alec's credit, he did not want to out his sister without her full knowledge of knowing what she wanted to do. So he's willing to be the martyr for this whole situation and take all of this on his shoulders. And this is a complete communication breakdown. Yeah. They absolutely stop talking to each other about almost everything that needs to be talked about.
He calls her and says he's pissed. He says, "Get out." She was like sleeping in at the room where they were sharing the hotel room. He's like, "Get out. I don't leave."
But he did not do that out of malice. He did that because they could not be seen together. Like, she needed to get away because the paparazzi was around and everything else. He did not say get out. Like, he's like, you need to get your stuff and get out of there to protect her. Not
but he didn't say that. He just said get out.
He did not
out
say
now.
That. Yes,
I get out. And then he hung up on it.
But I understood where he was coming from in that scene.
Good for you.
Almighty
she
arbiter.
Didn't.
She should have. And if she was using anything but her clit brain, she would have known.
You're garbage.
You're garbage.
You're garbage. He was not clear. He said, "Get the fuck out." She's already emotional. She's starting to freak out because I think Eden had texted her some stuff to be like, "Oh shit, girl, you should check your phone."
Yeah, text her to check social media.
Check Twitter or whatever. And so she's like starting to melt down. Then she gets this call and she thinks it's going to be a comforting call. Like, "Hey, we'll figure this out. Like, I'm on my way to you. We'll get this sorted." And he's like, "Get out. Get out. Go home as soon as possible.
Get away from me," pretty much.
Yeah, essentially is how she perceived that. So, and it was a very curt call. I'm glad that you saw inside Alec's mind and knew exactly what he meant. It was the logical thing. They couldn't be seen together. Believe it or not. But yeah, so she obviously then was very hurt by that reaction, and she wanted it to be like, let's figure this out together.
Wow.
She then
she throws a full-blown hissy fit after that and
No,
throws
she
the phone
doesn't.
away. He's trying to get in contact with her for 2 days. She absolutely cuts off all communication and everything else. And yes, it looked bad for as many feelings as they were having for each other, like to throw everything away and just absolutely, I don't know. I felt like this is a crisis management situation, and in the middle of the eye of the tornado, you just threw everything away. I get it. I get it, but I'm also like, really? And then he's trying to apologize for like 3 days, and she, turned the phone off.
She also gets fired. I think before
her entire world implodes,
is blown up. So he calls her, says get out. She leaves. She goes back to her apartment. Then she goes straight to work or something.
Yael's driving her to the apartment, and she says, "No, actually, I need to go to the office," and she gets fired immediately. And
and sort of reprimanded. I mean, like
no, she gets reprimanded, but then she gets fired later. There's a series of events. She goes into the office to try to do damage control. He says, "This isn't good. You should probably go home."
Yeah.
She goes home, and then the other story breaks where she's now sleeping with, the whole story breaks about how they've been together since Seattle, and it's been longer than just this little bit, and that they have a personal relationship that goes back years, and then she gets fired, and she's having a full meltdown.
She goes to her parents' house for 2 days, and she throws her phone away, so she's like unreachable. And Alec, and she had a burner phone for Alec that he gave to her, or he had whatever it was. Like, it wasn't like Alec had Eden's phone number or the parents' phone number. Like, they were a newer thing. So Alec really had no way of like finding her at all. So she gets back from her parents, and then she
sees him on the front porch, and they have a little tete-a-tete, and they're still pissed at each other. Yeah. And then Yael and Sonny show up, and Sonny tells her the whole story and gives her the scoop and goes on record and goes like, the women are going to figure this out now.
I loved that.
I thought it was a great scene. Yeah. And she then sells the story to like all the major papers,
like Vanity Fair,
except the one that she worked for, because fuck those guys. And then she gets all the job offers and everything else coming back, and then of course they, right after they do the whole story and submitted everything else, they're like, oh, and Alex shows up right after Sonny and Yael go to dinner. Like, they timed it, like, we're gonna go to dinner, do you want to go? And she's like, no, I'm tired. And then they're like, cool. And then Alec knocks on the door, and then 96%, one bone for the road, makeup, sexification. And then he just says at one point, do you love me when I'm deep like this? And I was like, that's not the way you want to go out. So the new Tell-All article goes live, sets world records, sets the record straight. It's crazy. She finds her dream job writing about people and finding and keeping their relationships and everything else, which sounded fun. And in a lot of these cases, I don't love the epilogues, because I think they kind of like do a little too much to add on to the end of the story, wherever else. But in this case, I have a note saying, I appreciated the epilogue and how she said their relationship wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy transition, being with a huge movie star and him working all over the world and her working all over the world, and them wanting to keep their careers, and how difficult it was. I thought it was it wasn't a nice, neat bow on the end of the story. It was a very honest kind of, we have to work at this. Yeah, we need to work at this. And I thought that was great. And kind of refuting the fact that love triumphs over everything. It's like, no, love and hard work triumph over everything.
Love is what starts it, and then it's commitment. Yeah, for the rest of it.
More love is about finding a way, through hard work. And I thought, the overall message was good. I mean, would you recommend this?
I Oh my God, yes. I think I have recommended it and I loved it. I actually, this is the second time I read it. The first time I read it was 2022. So there was actually, I felt like kind of an idiot reading it because you were like guessing, oh, I think the sister's going to be involved in all this stuff. And I was like, huh? I've read this book before and I still was like, really? You think? Like, just like going along for the ride. And maybe that's just how many brain cells I have in my life at this point. But yeah, I was not like even trying to guess what was going to happen. I had forgotten all of the mystery, all of the like menace that was happening in the background with the story she was breaking. So I loved it. To your point, like I think it had a lot of really strong characters. The only character I really liked Eden, the best friend. I feel like she brought some comedic relief. And
Agreed.
also I kind of felt bad for her because she really got railroaded. She was very much the side character in Gigi's main character story. Like Eden would come in and she was there. She answered all of her calls and her texts whenever Gigi needed anything. She was there to clean up after the first breakup with the chump boyfriend. And then she was there to clean up after this breakup. She did like when Gigi left to go to her parents' house, she went in and cleaned the whole room, changed the sheets, did a whole bunch of stuff. And then
took the phone out of the trash
took
for
the phone
her.
out of the trash, the Alec phone and the bat phone, whatever they called it. And so, and she put a note on the mirror and was like, FYI, there's like, I didn't throw the phone away. It's in your drawer. I turned it off. I put it in your drawer if you want it. If you want me to throw it away, I will. But like, FYI. And so then she turns on and she sees all these messages. I think there was a letter in the bag when they met out front after she got back from her parents' house. There was he like gave her a bag of stuff that she left in the hotel room, and there was a letter in there. You know, staying.
It took her a day and a half to read that too.
Yeah, it took her a long time to get the phone, turn it on, listen to the messages, read the letter in the bag, and so all of these things were kind of coming together as Sunny and Yael showed up, and they were, doing the story. So it wasn't just like he showed up at the front door and they suddenly like boned. But to your point, the characters in this were really well formed. The sex was hot. Like I have no complaints. And I feel like it came together. I enjoyed, I don't live in California. You do, but I enjoy books set in California because it makes me feel like, oh, I'm a California person.
The places they were going and the neighborhoods that they were in and everything else was very familiar and it was yes. And before you ask me the question, yes, I would absolutely recommend this one too.
Oh, good.
It was unlike some of the Beautiful Bastard stuff. This sex was fit the plot line and fit the characters, and it wasn't just bunch of sex scenes for sex scene's sake. Yeah. And it was well done. The surrounding story was good. Like you said, the characters have depth, and it was overall a good representation of what we like most out of a lot of these books, which is good characters, good communication, hot steamy sex scenes, and generally a little undercurrent of menace.
Not too long. I think that was a huge one. I think this one was like 10 hours or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
Both of our last two reads, this and next week's book, both are relatively short, which, which was nice. I mean, after some of these long
18-hour slogs.
Yeah.
Your girl appreciated a nice 10-hour book. So. Yeah, girl.
The one, and this was tropes and themes that we've dealt with in the past, but it felt fresh. It felt fresh. It was done in a good and interesting way, and felt newish. And there, like you said, Eden provides comedy relief. There's some funny stuff in there. There's some good stuff in there. There's some heartfelt stuff in there. The low point is low, but it doesn't last too long.
And realistic. It's not
realistic. Yeah.
Some of these things that are forced.
Very, very well done.
Yes. Well, good job, Ivy Owens.
Good job, Ivy Owens. Now it is time for the next iteration of our
Mad
Mad Lib super themes.
I forgot this was coming.
We have friend of the show, Jen, has provided our
Hi, Jen.
Provided
love
our journalist responses this week. So I have done a Mad Lib called Breaking News.
Ooh.
And these are Jen's responses. It was a hairy day in the newsroom when Christiane Amanpour, the most rank reporter at Fox News, got the assignment of a lifetime. You're going to cover the circus downtown, barked the freaky editor, adjusting their pantaloons. Armed with only the ring, a notepad, and an over-caffeinated goat, Christine Amanpour jumped into the four-wheeler and zoomed toward the scene like a sensual tornado. Upon arrival, chaos reigned. People were rocking, and a man in a French maid costume was yelling about the moon landing, and someone was handing out free bananas. This is going to be a terror, thought Christine, scribbling notes furiously with their favorite plume. Suddenly, the crowd gasped. Jon Stewart appeared, holding a magic 8-ball and shouting, "She-devil!" Before they knew it, Christine was live on air, microphone in hand, delivering the most obtuse report of their entire career. The world was watching, and their taint was sweating.
Oh,
that's how Amanpour won the Oscar for largest gangbang, forever changing journalism, and snack distribution policies. Oh man. You kind of tuned out in the middle there, Helen.
Well, you were mispronouncing Christiane Amanpour the whole time.
Yeah, well, that happens.
We're gonna listen to how to say it.
I actually did look up her name the other day.
Christiane Amanpour.
I was close.
Christiane Amanpour.
Hang on, we're gonna listen to it slow.
Christiane Amanpour.
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 Oh man.
I had to know how that was said.
I just turned the screensaver on my computer accidentally.
My word.
But that those were good. She was like,
was sweating.
Do you want me to change any of the answers? And I go nope.
Jen,
I'm taking
never.
him as is.
Never, Jen.
Never. We
never.
We are respectable on this podcast.
I was gonna say we would never taint genius. Couldn't.
All right, so smutometer rating where spicy. Okay, we are for everyone out there. When we get our website together, we're gonna give you the spice rankings and where we put everything on these, and don't hold your breath on that website. We can barely put the podcast together.
I know, as a social media manager, I don't know where much web-based design that I'm
Do you know what we are reading next week?
I do. Fuck you, Ned. We are reading.
First time ever in podcast
history. First time ever. I know what we're reading next week, and it is Nora Goes Off Script by damn it.
Annabelle Monaghan.
Annabelle Monaghan. Like I said, I'm not working with a lot of brain cells these days. Doing my best. Yes. Oh yes, I loved this book.
Yeah, this was early on in our reading in our smut reading too. I remember reading this one.
So this was your because you read it before, right? I think you read it.
This is my second read. Yeah,
this was your second read. And Scandalized, this was your first read.
That was my virginal reading for Scandalized.
Okay, and that was my second. But and for Nora, we've both read it twice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next week, as you heard, we will be reviewing, listening, and joking about the Nora Goes Off Script Annabelle Monahan. If you're generally liking our bullshit, please read, rate, review, subscribe, all that shit. Shower with us praise, please and thank you.
All the praise.
All the praise.
all the praise. Praise us. Tell us nice things.
Going NPR voice, and they're getting real up close on these mics. Thank you for listening.
It was like the guy. Anyway, moving on.
Pregnancy brain.
Nobody here knows that I'm pregnant.
Really?
I mean, maybe they can tell by my many chins, but anyway.
The hairs on your chin.
Listen, I did not have time to shave my beard tonight. I literally was like, when I told you, I was like, I'll be ready in 20. I need to go put on makeup. I was like, I need to shave my beard, and I didn't.
Your Billy Goat's gruff. His looks fine.
I'm like really hoping people can't see it.
You can't see it.
We're gonna blur that out. People, it's just gonna be like blurred down here. It's gonna look great.
Anyway.
All right, we need to finish.
Thank you for listening, and tune in next week, Smutters.
Ciao. Stay smutty.
Stay smutty.
Ow. Is this over?